We're coming off the hotly contested, well, at least until the fourth quarter, Game 7 with the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets as the Golden State Warriors get it done in the second half and in the fourth quarter and find a way to advance. We'll also be talking about the other playoff games. We had Indiana make a little bit of noise in Cleveland. And we had another Game 7 the other day, which we can get into. Wasn't much to talk about, but we'll talk a little bit about that. We're also going to cover who do we think is going to advance in this thing. Now that we know we're on to the next round, who is going to make that next step into the conference finals for the Eastern and Western conferences. So let's jump into it, man. B, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe here. But man, if I had told you that I was a tad bit nervous, my ass was nervous.
Yeah, and it got pretty close towards the end of the third, a little bit in the beginning of the fourth. But the Warriors, again, you have a team that was able to lean on their experience and really pull through, and you got a Houston Rockets team that really was not up for the moment offensively. They could not find a way to get the ball in the basket. You got to credit the Warriors defense for that. And man, I don't know about you, but the zone has returned to the NBA. Was it?
I love seeing it, man. The zone's one of the best defenses out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, it's a jump shooting league nowadays, but there's something about a zone that causes problems.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I'm just shocked that teams are gonna play a zone against a team that has the shooter of like Steph Curry, and you're running the risk of letting this man get open in the zone here. Now, Houston played it little differently because they played zone, but they still had somebody staring Curry in the eyeballs every single time. So it's not like he could really get free in the zone. They forced other guys to say beat us, and that one other guy beat him today, and that was Buddy Hield. He got nuclear in the first half here, and he benefited from the zone there because he was left wide open a lot of times.
Yeah, that was a big game from Buddy Hield, who is kind of an unexpected X factor that I don't think anybody before the game was talking about. Mind you, Kuminga got some minutes in this game, so obviously Kerr pulled out all the stops and understood the severity of the situation they were facing. But Buddy Hield with 33 points led all scorers in this game, so we can't just shun that away and say it was a great performance by another guy not named Steph Curry. No, Buddy Hield effectively won this game. This is probably the best game Buddy Hield has ever had, and maybe ever
in his career.
In a pressurized Game 7 against a very defensive ball club. You got two other All-Stars and future Hall of Famers on your team with Butler and Curry, but no, my friend, you need to look out for this guy. So, man, kudos to Buddy Hield. 33 points. He was 9 for 11 from the three-point line. Shot 81% from the three-point line. 12 of 15 overall, so he shot 80% from the field. Dominant performance by a player I don't think anybody was checking for before this game or any other game.
Nope. What did I text you earlier? I was like, if you had expected Draymond and Buddy Hield to carry the Warriors in that first quarter, I did not have that on my bingo card. Because let's remember, Draymond started the game with a backdoor layup and hit 2 straight threes after that. He had a quick 8 points for the Warriors, right? And when that happens, the tone kind of changes a little bit there. And then Buddy Hield just said, all right, here we go.
Yeah. And he's one of those guys who's hot or not, and that's been how he's been his whole career. But when he can get it going, he can really knock it down. Thanks. We got Untamed. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
I want Golden State in the finals. My C's need their get back. I would love to see that back in there, but I'm not sure.
He's a
Celtics fan. Man, T, I shouldn't say you're a Lakers fan, but you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah, of course I am. Look at the crap behind me. But I think overall, man, this was a really rough game. There was pretty low scoring for the most part. Defensively on both sides, we're talking two teams going at it. I mean, Alan Thompson was a machine today in guarding, and he actually had some responsibility for creating some of the offense for Houston because Houston could not score anything at all. So yeah, it was a nightmare for Houston offensively, man. Nightmare. I don't know if you I know you watched the game, but I was looking at everybody on Houston's roster and thinking, who in the world is going to knock
Yes.
down a shot? Because it wasn't
Yes.
happening.
Well, because look, Fred Van Vliet had a great 3 games leading into this one, right? Like he has been shooting the lights out of the game and then was non-existent today.
Yeah.
And there's that level of consistency here. But I'm gonna blame I'm gonna put the pressure on Jalen Green, right? He's supposed to be that guy for them.
He's
He's
not.
that young superstar, but he's not. Now it's gonna come with development. But look, the only real output he had was in game 2. He had 38 points in game 2, and we've never heard from him ever since.
Yeah.
And you can't go a 7-game series with only one game of above 20 points. After that, he never scored 20 again.
Yeah, and truth be told, Jalen Green, if you watched him throughout the season, he's always been an inconsistent player. He hasn't been a guy who's been a consistently or dependable, or reliable scorer for the Houston Rockets. And if you look at their scoring percentage or at least their field goal percentage over the course of the season, this team is really relying on second chance points. That's how they win games: defense and second chance points. The Warriors did a
Yeah.
good job of trying to take that away. They didn't give up a ton of offensive rebounds like they did in the previous game. The game wasn't a slog either, and I thought that was a huge, huge difference. I texted you at the last game. I don't like this pace. The Warriors were playing at Houston's pace, slow, methodical, trying to run some half court set. F all that. When the ball comes off the rim on a miss, every single player should be
Needs to be
running
running.
their ass as fast as
Yep.
they can in the other direction. That's how you're going to produce points and get them set up in mismatches, because that was the issue Golden State was dealing with. They have to figure that out. We got
Sorry. Untamed. Yeah, I got you. Okay, but let's be real about Houston. They need KD.
I said that's what I'm
We're
saying.
not talking about that. But who do you trade? Who do you have in mind?
Oh, I'm trading. I've got tons of young talent. I've got tons
Let's
to
hear
pick
it.
if
Let's
I'm
hear it.
Houston. I'm thinking they could probably a player that Phoenix might be interested in would be Jabari Smith Jr. A guy I don't know if they trade Jalen Green, but if Phoenix wanted him, I'd be more than happy to give him up. But the one guy, honestly, they could trade any of them. They could trade Fred Van Vliet if they wanted to. The only guys I wouldn't touch would be maybe Şengün and Amir Thompson. That's it. As far as anybody else, trade them. I don't care who they are.
I think you keep Fred Van Vliet. He's a great point guard. He just needs help. Like he did not have any help today.
Yeah.
I think you keep him. You explore Dylan Brooks, getting him out of there, because KD and Dylan Brooks ain't gonna play together. So you do have to get rid of Dylan Brooks. I think you do throw in Jalen Green in that as well. You throw in some first round draft picks because let's be honest, Phoenix needs them.
Phoenix needs them. They gave them all away.
And there you go. Then you've got KD. I mean, but does KD want to leave? Like, who knows what he wants at this point? The man didn't even want to leave during the trade deadline.
Yeah, but they tried to trade him once. I mean, they're going to trade him in the offseason. I don't think there's there is nothing else because it could possibly happen. That team needs to be blown up. The Phoenix Suns are trashed. They couldn't make the playoffs with 3 guys making $100 million or some dollars on their roster between Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. KD's gone. Seriously.
Yeah.
And Phoenix they only care about Devin Booker, right? That's the guy that they want to keep. So
I would move him.
Everybody else is gone. Everybody else is out.
If I'm Devin Booker, I want out. But hold on. We're not talking about him right now, right? My team just got off a game.
Oh yeah.
Win.
So see, we're getting
let's
knocked off the rails
let's show my team some love here, okay?
Let's talk about the Warriors a little bit more, since obviously B is a Warriors fan.
I don't get this as often, all right? We've led the show too many times about Laker talk. It's not happening right now. We talking about my team right now.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things to discuss. I do want to point out the fact that I thought it was a mistake by Steve Kerr to bench, and we talked about this, benches players in Game 4. Game 5.
Game 5. What did you call it? You called it the cardinal sin.
Cardinal sin in basketball. Yes. You never throw away a playoff game. You can't punt playoff games. No one can punt playoff games. And so we didn't
punt it. We kicked it down. We kicked it from end zone to end zone.
I mean, three minutes into the third quarter, yes, you're down by 25 or 27, but we saw Oklahoma come back on the Grizzlies in a similar situation and get the win and knock them out and proceeded to knock them out in a sweep. And I thought the Warriors would have had that opportunity, but you at least show that you want your guys on the court in playoff games till the very end, just so that they understand the severity of what's going on. I thought that really put them in a bad space. It gave Houston a lot of unneeded, a lot of unneeded, what do you call it? Enthusiasm. Like it made them feel better about or confidence.
Yeah, it
This way.
did. It
So
did.
it gave them some confidence. They came into the Warriors in San Francisco and they won that game. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that you let them blow you out, and you wave the
Mhm.
white flag. You know what I mean? You can't
Mhm.
wave the white flag for a young team like this. They're looking for any type of confidence they can find because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So I thought that was a mistake by Steve Kerr, but he had the stars behind him to back it up on Game 7 and get the job done. Just want to make it more difficult, I guess.
Untamed says the fact that Minnie has home court in the second round as a 6 seed is wild. This happened 2 years ago. The Warriors were the 6 seed, took out Denver. They didn't take out Denver. They took out the Grizzlies. Then they got the Lakers right after. No. You guys took out the Grizzlies. Who did we
Yeah, we
take
beat
out?
the Grizzlies. Yeah,
Who was the 3rd seed that year?
I don't know. Was it the
Um,
Clips?
no, it wasn't the Clips that year.
No.
I'm mind blanking here. But yeah, the Warriors were the 6 seed, the Lakers were the 7 seed, and both teams, and then the Lakers or the Warriors hosted that second round match, and we all know how that went. So, but dude, Minnesota's not to be taken lightly, but we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But look, the fact that the Warriors let this get to 6-7 games here is a little concerning. I thought the team did what they needed to do to make sure that they won this game. Jimmy Butler, we got somewhat of a Jimmy Butler game here.
Kinda.
We kind of got it. We're still waiting for it to happen. Here's my thing that I don't like right now is I don't like the fact that that there's guys just giving up shots, right? We saw that a lot in game 6 and we saw it a little bit today. It's like, dude, you've got an open shot. For God's sakes, take it.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You need to have that mentality.
Yeah, the zone kind of confused the Warriors a little bit, and you have to remember what the code of conduct is for your team offensively, and that's 3-point shots and layups, okay? So with that in mind, it does kind of make sense that when guys found themselves in the middle of that road, when they found themselves at the free throw line, they were looking for somewhere else to throw the ball.
It's like, dude, you got a 15-foot jump shot.
Yeah, the Warriors' offense is predicated on threes and layups. It is not predicated on long twos. Steve Kerr hates long twos. That's the Warriors' thing. That everybody copied them. So that's not a shot that they usually take. Now, hopefully they learn from this. You have to take the shot that's given to you. And obviously, Jimmy Butler had to take a few of these shots in order to create some additional offense that the Warriors really, really needed. As B disappears from the
sorry about there. That.
It's all right. Let's talk about coming together in peace, which was not happening. But the Warriors obviously, I think, the veteran, what won this game was the fact that you have those vets in the game. They knew it was going to be a grinded out game. The vets between Curry and Jimmy Butler were able to make plays down the stretch, and that's what changed all of it. I mean, Curry went on a little run there.
He did
knocked down a couple of shots. Defense wasn't giving him the threes, so he took the twos, got right to the rim and got a couple layups. So, a great game by a great player. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Buddy Hield is the only surprise on this roster. For real.
Untamed says, and I want to hear Cancun is baby Joker. He's not. Yeah, I don't know where people crowned him this. That's the amazing part.
I said this, and I talked about this. Look, Sengun, he looked completely out of it in this game.
What is with that 1-foot shot? Like, dude, he has all these mismatches and he does not have a post move. Like, he's just big and stupid. That's all he's got.
He's a better player than how he played during the regular season. He's a good player. But like I said, we're talking about a young team in a situation they've never been in before. Sengun found himself in situations where he had opportunities to make big plays, but he was not ready at all. He was deer in the headlights. No. And he got a lot of missed shots in and around the rim, had a lot of mishandled balls where he's backing the ball up, and the one jarring bounce he gets off the defender, the ball just comes way up here and he can't control it anymore. And he was out there looking like a baby deer. It just wasn't very put together. He needs to get his mind right and get in the game. At one point, you even saw Fred Van Vliet scream at
Yell at
him
him.
going down
Yes.
the court to wake up because that he looked like a deer in the headlights, man. He looked like he was not ready for this situation at all.
No, and this situation was made for him. The Warriors did not play a single big lineup. You are taller than every single player on that Warriors roster here. Quentin Post is just that man is just, he got 2 left feet for himself. All he does is shoot threes, which we'll take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But look, Kevon Looney's not guarding you, right? Kevon, he's a little more physical than Şengün, but let's be real though, he's not stopping you. Like this was your perfect opportunity to make a name for yourself, and
yeah,
you completely let it go by the
yeah.
wayside. And you allow guards to pickpocket you. What's the one thing that big men are not allowed to do when they're inside 2 feet of the hoop? Right? You don't put the ball on the floor. You go straight up with this ball. Because the minute the ball goes on the floor, you give every small guard an opportunity to rip at it. And that's what the Warriors found themselves in opportunities like that to do.
Yeah, and keep the ball high. One of the issues
Yes.
he has is he can't play through contact. That's the biggest thing I noticed. He
Bro,
cannot
the
play through
guy's like
contact.
a built like a tank and he can't play
Dude,
through
no,
contact.
I mean, if you watch him, he would catch the ball in the middle of the paint, and every time he went to go up with that little weak hook shot, it looked like somebody punched him in the mouth. And it's like, dude, you're bigger, okay? You're not gonna get the foul call every single time. By the way, when he did, he missed most of them free throws.
Yeah.
And so, it's like what you have got to be able to play through contact as a big man. He was not able to do that. Too much finesse, not enough grit, and he got his butt handed to him.
He sure did. And I mean, you got to give credit for Draymond. You do need to give him his credit for that, for having to stick with that there. I mean, I don't know why Draymond got flustered. You expect anybody else to really try to stop Şengün when he was downhill? Not really, but you maintained him as best as you could, and you made it a little bit difficult here. I do like the fouls that Draymond did. The swipe fouls, he hit them hard. Nothing flagrant about it there. He did
Yeah,
make some solid contact with it,
yeah.
but it flustered Şengün enough to say, hey, you may be, damn near 7 feet, but I'm not going to make this easy for you. And I give credit to Draymond for handling that task. But man, I can't wait for him and Rudy Gobert.
Oh my God.
Chokehold number 2,
Round
baby.
two, Gobert and Green. Round two. The last time, if hopefully folks remember, Draymond got him around the neck and tried to strangle the man to death.
He tried to
Oh
strangle
my
the
gosh.
pastries or the croissants out of Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but that was crazy. But yeah, man, I again, this team was not prepared for this moment. You saw some great things from Houston. They're a growing team. I love I'm what Amir Thompson did for their team defensively and offensively in some cases. That kid he's going to be
He's
a legit
he,
two-way
he is
player.
going to be, yes, he is.
And
He's
the
going to be the
fact
next two-way player. I
the
agree.
fact that he was out there on an island with Curry and was able to hold his own for a majority of this season, I think speaks volumes to what he's going to be
Mm-hmm.
going into the future. Because like I told you, B, the moment he came up with that gimpy calf, Curry went off. The moment he
Yeah.
came out the game, Curry went off, and that's
See, you
because
say it like that. I like I said,
I
he
mean
made
that's what
he made
happened.
his son cry in Game 6 for not winning it at home. Right, so that was a little
Oh
bit of
my.
motivation for
Wait,
that.
well, okay. Well, then let's play it like this. The motivation didn't kick in until Amin Thompson came off the floor. How about that? Does that make you
It's
feel better?
it's a combination of both.
Okay,
I'll take.
because Curry wasn't doing nothing, man. We're not gonna sit up here and lie like you've been. Buddy Hill was carrying his team up
Oh,
until about
100%.
the fourth quarter. Okay, once they took Amin Thompson out the game, that then Curry torched Fred Van Vliet. He
Yep.
torched Jalen Green. Whoever else was out there trying to guard him got they behind whoop. But no.
Let's see. Untamed. Dre holds the team together since 2015. I've only been saying that. That's why I put up with Draymond's like antics, because he's still the glue of this
Yeah,
team.
absolutely.
I put up with it because without him and the way he plays defense, it gets overshadowed because of the antics that he causes. But in a game like this, he kept the antics to a minimum.
He
All right,
tried his
he
best.
did slap
Can't
the
be too
crap out
mad.
of Fred Van Vliet.
I think
He
what Kurt
slapped the
told him
crap
is
out of him.
Kurt told him you can slap one person, but you got to do it in the first half.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't do this
I
in
think
the
that's
second.
how you get to slap one dude, and then then that's it. But only in the first half.
You know what's crazy part is he did. I mean, he did pick on a smaller guy, but I mean, look, he got his money's worth. That was it.
When does he ever pick on? I mean,
he didn't get into no arguments with the refs here. And that was the other thing I wanted to text you. The refs that they had on the court today were no nonsense refs.
yeah,
Like they weren't going to put up with none of that today.
Right.
And I think the players knowing that who was ref in the game kind of changes the outlook a little bit there, and so it allows them to say, hey, at this point, it's now we need to play basketball. The physicality is going to be there. Let's just focus on the task at hand. You saw the players do that. I was hoping Jimmy Butler would go ham on Fred Van Vliet. He didn't when Fred Van Vliet pushed him in the back. I thought it was a light shove. I don't think it was anything malicious, but I mean, yeah, I give credit to all of that there.
Yeah, well, look, hey, at the end of the day, they got the job done. The Warriors moved through. They're going to play the Timberwolves in Minnesota for whatever reason, and we'll see how that shakes out. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know what this means. You gotta help me out, Tame. Sean Marion is the Michael Jordan of Amin Thompson's. You mean the same Sean Marion that they used to get whooped by the Lakers, or which one are we talking about?
Oh man,
the one that the guy behind me used to kill all the time.
Can we admit Sean Marion had one of the ugliest jump shots known to man?
Well, he shouldn't have been shooting. He should have been shooting. I don't think he should have been shooting. But Bruce, no, those Phoenix Suns teams were amazing. Sean Marion was a great player. You had Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire. You had Leandro Barbosa. Coming off the bench,
young Leandro Barbosa.
So those teams with the Spurs were with the Suns were very good. Sean Marion was a great, long, rangy defender. But back then, honestly, if you're being honest about it, there were a lot of guys. There were a lot of defenders back then. You had a lot of guys that could that get out there and play.
Let's see. Bruce, welcome in. Unlike the Lakers, Warriors compete. LOL. And not gonna send Steph home. This is I'm just gonna lead into that a little bit. What scares me the most is that Ant led the league in 3-point shooting, and the man continued that in the playoffs. Warriors just need to be mindful of that. Like, you're gonna really have a problem with Ant either inside the paint or outside. Like, Ant can really shoot the ball this year.
Well, here's what I would say. And yeah, no, the Lakers deserve what they got. They didn't play well enough to defeat this team. This team got them in 5. But here's what I will say, Bruce. Don't do what we did. Don't underestimate them.
Don't.
Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. So I think what Warrior fans should do is they should think about how you can attack this team, because at the end of the day, the same problems exist. You still have a height problem, right? You still got to deal with Naz Reid. You still got to deal with Rudy Gobert being bigger than most
Randolph.
players on
You got to deal with Randolph too.
You got to deal with Randolph, who's a difficult guard. So you got to figure out who you're going to put Draymond on and who's going to guard him, because that person is probably going to be undersized. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good series, because you saw a few plays where Amin Thompson was able to drive and get to the rim and do some really interesting things in and around the rim once he got past his first defender. You're going to be dealing with that every night against Ant. So Ant's going to try to live in the paint when he can.
Here's what the Warriors will do, though. They will drag Rudy out of the paint, and they will put him in a high pick and roll. They've done that in the past with him. I think the Warriors will try to get him a little more involved with that. What else we got here? Bruce says Draymond versus Gobert. Draymond, oh, of course. Draymond don't like him.
But that's the thing is, I don't really think it's Draymond versus Gobert. Just like it wasn't Draymond versus Steven Adams. It's just about size overall. It's not about. There's no 1v1 for two players who don't play offense, because Rudy Gobert doesn't really do anything for you unless he gets a rebound. I think the question is what do you do with Julius Randle and who do you put on him? That's the question. So I would prefer to put Draymond and force GP2 and play small that way. But I don't know. I don't know what y'all think about it. But in my opinion, I'm more worried about what Julius Randle. Julius Randle is Shingun with athletic and wasn't afraid of contact.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So he's a bull in a china shop. He's just going to go ramming in there with his left hand and put the ball up on the rim. So you really want to have somebody that can give him the same type of physicality, which I think Draymond is a better fit for that matchup, because I really don't know who else you guys are going to put unless you play Kevon Looney a ton of minutes and go that
Well,
route.
I wouldn't be shocked if Kevon Looney was in there to kind of give a little of a bit of a muscular to Rudy Gobert, but the Warriors have to limit the second chance opportunities. That's what hurt the Lakers, right? The
Yeah,
Lakers went small, and Rudy Gobert had a
he
field
had a
day
Fields
in
day.
Game 5, and the Warriors are good at gang rebounding, right? So the Warriors are really going to have to force Rudy Gobert, and as long as they can keep Julius Randle on the outside and not let him live on the inside, Rudy Gobert's not part of that offense. He's literally
He's going to
there to
set a
do one
screen and
thing.
get out the way. That's it. He's
Exactly.
going to the dunker spot.
And he's going to go right down low. So if you can kick him out of the paint here, you limit the extra rebounds that they get here. But I mean, you never know. Like, you just don't. I wasn't expecting Rudy Gobert to almost have a 30-point night against you guys. Like, I just wasn't.
Yeah,
While Jackson Hayes is sitting on the bench.
And let's get through some of the comments, but we'll jump into that because I definitely got some choice comments about that. We got Untamed with the very common criticism of Luka being fat. Yeah, I've heard that before. And Braun literally holding Lakers back from a jump start to their rebuild. He ain't gonna be around for maybe another year or so.
Nah,
It ain't gonna take
nah.
that much. I don't think he's gonna stop us from rebuilding. This offseason, you'll see things change.
You guys have Luka, all right?
Yeah,
And if that's not a
so
draw
nice.
enough to get players over there,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
you guys would be fine.
And then Taylor, I just watched Ant because I love his trash talk.
Who doesn't?
Bruce, with the physicality against the Rockets, the Wolves will be Swiss cheese. We'll see, man.
You can't underestimate the physicality of the Wolves. Like, it is going to be a physical brand. It's not going to be as physical as this Rocket series. I think you'll see a little more basketball flow.
Yeah,
but don't underestimate that.
But you're also not dealing with a team that can't shoot.
This team can shoot.
Yeah, Houston can't shoot. Houston has no players that can score, and so not Naz Reid can score. Obviously, you got Ant. Ant can put the ball in the hole. So you got a few guys on their team that can at least knock down an open shot. I don't know what Houston was doing. Gilbert will sit down a lot. Yeah, it depends on how he's played. So if you guys can get him out of the game early by playing small and doing it effectively, then Gilbert won't be Gilbert.
Why are we calling him Gilbert?
Gobert won't play a lot of minutes because honestly he's not built to play in a fast-paced game. He's built more for the half court. But if you let him get loose, he'll destroy you. He'll kill you. So you got to make sure you just get his butt in foul trouble as quickly as possible. Tame with Hundo, he's going to get benched real quick. Talking about
he picked the Warriors in 6. He said Hundo on that. Warriors in 6.
Randall can shoot all night long. Yeah, that's what we thought. That's what I thought too. I thought Randall in the postseason is trash. I was wrong.
I missed that memo.
Randall knocked down threes. Randall got to the rim. He kind of got whatever he wanted. Randall shooting threes is perfectly fine. Yeah, I hope so. Ant gonna want to outshoot Curry on threes. I wouldn't bet on that one.
I would.
Yeah, he might try, but
he's gonna try.
I would say when the sea parts and he sees only Draymond standing under the rim, I don't think he's gonna be afraid to go up. I'll just say that.
I can't. I'm so excited for this matchup. My second favorite player outside of Curry is Ant Edwards right now.
Yeah.
And if I would get to see a chance to see him detonate on somebody, I might be happy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying he's not gonna avoid the contact. That's all I'm saying.
No.
So, if you think about the players, think about Jalen Green today and how many times he went towards the rim. What did he do when he got to the rim? He switched it to the other hand.
It was a sissy.
Around. Ant's probably going to try to go right over the top of you. And so that might be a little bit different of an experience. And you're going to play a team that's going to play with verticality, which the Houston has none. Houston has very little vertical lob threat at all. But Minnesota has that capability.
I got a question for you before we move off of this here. Who does Draymond get the first technical with? Is it Randall?
I'm gonna be straight with you. Gobert? I know these players. He's gonna pick on Rudy because I'm okay, and I'm not. I'm just saying this because I've seen this dude play throughout most of his career. Julius Randle is not the one. He's not the one. You can't pick a fight with him. Okay,
No.
it's not happening. Okay, he's not the guy that's gonna get pushed around. He's not the guy that's not gonna happen. This is the same guy that pushed KG and told him to shut the F up. Okay,
Yeah, he was
early
wearing a
in his
Laker.
career, we talking
I think he
about
was
year
wearing a
two.
Laker uniform
Yeah.
too, right?
So he's not a guy that's gonna get pushed around. He's not a guy that's
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh no, you hurt me, you hit like Shingun. Oh, I felt that. That's not what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be a little bit different. Now that doesn't mean that the Wolves win, but that's the type of player Randall is. He's pretty much a tailback. He's out there playing running back.
The untamed Randall, bro. They're gonna be like two orcs in the paint smashing each other's heads.
You damn right. Cavemen with just beating each other around the club. It's gonna be fun, man. Honestly, that's gonna be. I know the thought process is it won't be as physical as the Houston series.
Just watch it.
But when we get in the paint, it's probably gonna be pretty darn physical, man. For real.
It ain't gonna be the fan of the heart to get up in there, because I'll tell you this: Randall's not afraid to commit a hard foul. Draymond ain't afraid to commit a hard foul. Jimmy Butler's not afraid to commit a hard foul. If you go up there, you better get up there with intent, because they're not going to make it easy for you. Yeah. So it's going to be like that.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move into the unfortunate demise of my team, the Lakers, who really just pissed off that last game. They didn't really do much. Luka got hurt later in the game.
Well, that was a freak injury too, man.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. He hurt his back. LeBron, even though he somehow magically got an MCL tear or some garbage sprain or whatever, he actually played pretty well. LeBron played pretty well at least that game. But ultimately, it came down to one thing and one thing only: offensive rebounds. Rudy Gobert had the best game of his entire life. 27 points, 25 rebounds. The man was a rebound machine. He's 7'3". The ball just came to him naturally, and this is where we get into this discussion that we have to talk about. JJ Redick, what the hell are you doing, buddy? Even Kerr was like, you know what? I hate Kuminga, but I'm going to play him because I need something, right? I'm going to play him, right? I'm going to give him a chance and see what happens, right? The guys had played a playoff game. Kuminga had played a playoff game until that point. But Kerr put him in the game because he knows Game 7. He needed some athleticism, and he needed a lift. My man JJ Redick, in the game before, played his starters the whole second half, knowing damn well LeBron is 45,000 years old. And now Luka is not in the best shape, but he still played him a whole half. Okay,
ran him into the ground, man.
That was dumb, because not only did you do that to your stars, but you also sent a message to your bench guys that you don't trust them.
Yeah.
So then the next game comes, and guess what? You want to roll your regular rotation back out there. Those guys said they're not going to play well. And half of them, to be honest with you, they barely looked like they wanted to play in the first quarter.
Yep.
So I don't want to say he lost the team necessarily, but I will say that those mistakes bled into the next game. And I thought it really was just about attrition at that point. The Lakers were going to play well enough to hang around, but just like whenever they used to play against the Denver Nuggets, right? You hang around long enough, the other team recognizes what you're weak at. They're going to do the same thing they did in the last game, and they're going to keep doing it over and over and over again until eventually you didn't have an answer then. You're not going to have an answer now. They didn't want to play Jackson Hayes in the game, the only 7-footer they have on the roster. And you're just watching Rudy Gobert just eat up rebound after rebound after rebound after rebound. And they don't even have to worry about shooting. They shot awful in that game. The Timberwolves didn't do anything special offensively. But if Rudy Gobert is only dunking the ball, then who cares? It's not going to matter. It's a high percentage shot.
Well, and then they're starting Max Kleber.
Well, that's the other thing. So JJ Redick decides to go to a player that hasn't played in 4 months in an elimination game in the playoffs. And so this is rookie coaching. These are mistakes that are made. JJ Redick made these 3 glaring mistakes. Didn't want to play your big, even though you're getting killed on the boards. Okay, LeBron, score 30 and then block out Rudy Gobert. What? No.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. That's not gonna work. LeBron can't do that. He physically can't do that. And then the other thing, you bring in Max Kleber, who hasn't even practiced with us. I mean, what He broke his foot like back in December or something. The guy hadn't played in months, hasn't been on the team that long, only been on the team since February, and hasn't even played any basketball, any live action basketball. He hasn't played any games until that one. Sorry, JJ, you're gonna have to do better than that. That was bad. That was
Untamed. Let me get with Untamed here because this is all directed with you for you here. The Lakers options are 1, LeBron retires. 2, ask for a trade to Dallas. 3, it takes a pay cut and you sign Capella. That's not going to happen because he was supposed to take a pay cut going into this year, and his extension was one of the highest extensions for 2 years I've ever seen.
Well, because they didn't get anybody. They were supposed to get a player. They didn't make a trade.
And then 4, they run it back and he lasts with Ant again while he whoops his ass again. You know, he's referring to, I think, game 3 where him and Ant were, you know, yapping it up, nothing crazy or anything. And they're laughing on the sideline. And it's like, look, I get it. There's a mutual respect for everything, but you're playing for a championship at this point, right? This ain't the regular season. Like, you may be the best of friends off the court, but when it's the playoff time, I'm coming for you, man. Like Isaiah Thompson and Magic Johnson, right? Yeah. When the Pistons and the Lakers played
hate each other. Yeah.
Well, they, you know, Magic went at Isaiah Thomas. He damn near tried to rip his head off at the rim.
Yeah.
Right. He said the friendships to the side. This is a championship. Yeah. So I think that's where he's getting with that. So I mean, the Lakers, I think there's rumors that they're going to go back after Quentin Williams, I think, where they failed.
Mark Williams.
Is it Mark Williams in the trade? So I wouldn't be shocked if they go after him here.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, you can't write off Jack.
If you want to hear my opinion as a Lakers fan, I mean, it's really not that complicated. You got Luka Doncic. I mean, you can say what you want about Luka. You can call him fat. You can call him names. Hell, they used to call this guy behind me a rapist. But at the end of the day, when you have that amount of talent on the floor, what difference does it make? All the Lakers need to worry about doing is go and find players that fit around Luka. That's it. LeBron will play for a season or two. Get out there and find the big, and you never know what can happen in the offseason. Yeah. But you just got to go into it, and you have to say, hey, look, this is what we got the player we want for the next 5 to 7 years. Let's build around him. So, as far as the transition from LeBron retiring to what would happen next, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. I'm sorry. I couldn't have asked for a better situation. Because generally what happens when you have a great player like that leave, there's a lull. There's a lull for a while before you can get back into contention. But with Luka being here already, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for us.
It becomes an attraction draw. Like, it's like, okay, it's worth coming to. Like, when I'll use Steph Curry as an example, when he started showing out, first player they signed, biggest free agent they've signed in a while was Andre Iguodala, right?
Yeah.
They get him, they reap the benefits of it, and then who comes right after that? KD.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. But either way, it doesn't matter because the Lakers are in a better situation than they would have been if they had never traded for Luka. And so I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. And by the way, Tame, you a C's fan, man. You saw what happened to the Big Three. Like when the Big Three went down, I won't bring up how they went out. But when the Big Three went down and they traded everything to the Brooklyn Nets and they got back all those draft picks, you had to go through that long ass lull before those guys got better again. Now it led to a championship. Danny Ainge did a hell of a job, but you had to go through that place where you're not doing anything for like a good 5 to 6 years, and so the Lakers don't have to go through that, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So that's why I'm saying, yes, this was a bad loss. Yes, they should have played better. Should have got out the first round. But moving forward, I don't have anything necessarily to be upset about. You know, they franchise-wise, they're at least moving in the right direction.
Yeah, they are. Warrior fans, on the other hand, be ready for that long haul.
Yeah, man.
That's coming.
You better build that Curry statue the moment he says he's retiring.
You know what? When he announces that it's his final season, retire the jersey, put up the statue, put a Draymond statue, like, just really embrace that, because the last thing you want to do is see like a 2-14 loss team retire a jersey. Like, it's not fun to watch. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do it when your team's relevant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's not fun at all. But yeah, move forward. I think this offseason will be. It's gonna be the Lakers are gonna make moves. Obviously, I mean, if anybody knows anything about the Lakers franchise, is that they don't sit still and they're part of every rumor that anybody's ever heard of. So there's gonna be something that happens, and it won't be. I don't think it'll be anything big, but they'll at least find a way to get a center. That
Uni,
ultimately will happen.
you bring up not the Lakers, not like the Lakers, always trying to trade picks for now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna the Celtics. The Celtics are now a now team. They built it. It's homegrown. They got it now, but you need to sustain it
they were
there. And if
also a now team whenever they traded for
yes,
Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen.
and
Okay, let's
now
not
that
get
you're
it twisted. Now you got a good pickup with this last couple years with Tatum and Jalen, but don't get it twisted now. The
Derek
Celtics
White,
did the same damn thing remember when y'all had Antoine Walker
Paul Pierce.
and Paul Pierce with that team? That team was nice, but they couldn't get to the finals. They couldn't
So
get to the finals. They couldn't get over the hump. So what'd you do? You traded stuff away. You brought in Garnett later in his career. You brought in Ray Allen. You drafted Rajon Rondo, and y'all was on your way. So hey, look, every team goes through it. The Celtics did what they had to do for now. Now it just depends on the situation. That's all. It
Yes, and
depends
I
on
think
who's on
the
the team.
Celtics are going to be in that position for the foreseeable future. Yes, everybody is locked up, but if you go through a stretch with this kind of team and you don't either you win one championship or you don't bring one home within the next 3 years, you have a guy like God, what's the GM's name? It's Brad. I'm blanking on his name. He was the ex coach.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Brad Stevens.
Brad
Brad
Stevens. There you go.
Stevens.
Thank you.
Brad Stevens, he probably has that mentality of like, we're not, the rebuilding phase is done. And now it's the win-win. And you make the team a high market for somebody who's a really good talent to go say, hey, that may be a team I can go win a championship with. I'm going there because that's what players are looking to do now. Homegrown talent doesn't exist that much anymore here. The teams are looking to win now. So what are you going to do? You're going to make yourself available.
Yeah,
Eh,
cap. Yeah, the
yeah.
cap. Yeah, and
And the cap's gonna get ridiculous. And like next year,
it's going
it goes
up.
into the billions.
Yeah, it's going up.
So yeah, the homegrown stuff, it's gonna be a dime a dozen. It's just you're gonna have players looking to win now, so you go get them,
Yeah,
and you're gonna have the money to sign.
yeah. It's just like OKC. OKC is a great story too, but if they don't win a championship in the next 2 to 3 years, then it's going to get blown up.
And
So
and and Untamed says we need this chip now. You
yeah,
do, and if you lose it, guess what? You're gonna go out there and you're gonna find somebody to make sure that you win it.
yeah,
So Golden State isn't homegrown. They were homegrown, but all of that homegrown talent is gone.
yeah.
It's gonna be gone. There's been times where they drafted players you thought were gonna be staples and they're not there anymore. So you know
Dante
why?
DiVincenzo.
Yes, he's not homegrown. Eric Pascal was a great 1 year player. They got rid of him to bring in somebody who was a win now. Although it didn't pan out, they went out and did that. They got rid of young players and said, we need to win this now. Anybody remember Patrick Baldwin Jr.? I don't.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. That
You
was
see what I'm
terrible
saying
draft
though? But
picks.
exactly, Quentin Post. You're using leverage. Yes, these guys are nice, but if they're not going to be able to win you a championship, the next thing you do is you go and get rid of them so you can find a way to win a championship.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler. So I mean, it's
Andrew Wiggins is not a homegrown player,
yeah,
but he was
yeah.
he was trade bait.
Every team has to do it. Even OKC's star is a trade from the Clippers. So I mean, every team has to do it.
Jordan Poole.
Yeah, there are very few players. There are very few teams that are fully just homegrown. You got to go out there and use free agency like everybody else. That only makes sense. So now we gone through that. We got to talk about the next steps, right? Because we've got the second round is upon us, beginning with the game today between the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers, where the Indiana Pacers came out like gangbusters and Cleveland looked like they had a week off. So it just it didn't look that great, man. I gotta say, I think that Cleveland will come back and get back on the horse here and make this series tight. I still think the Cavaliers will win this series, but it might be a little bit of a closer series than I first thought. The Indiana looked great. They've got some defensive guys out there between Matherin and Oh man, what's the other kid's name? I have to look him up. But they've got some guys out there that could just outright defend. And we also have
They
to
can
keep in
shoot
mind,
too.
Nimhart, he was
Naismith
good.
or Nimhart? Yeah,
Naismith,
Nimhart.
Naismith, yep,
Naismith
both
as
of them.
well.
Yep. So they got some guys that can flat out defend and ball. We got to point out that I think Darius Garland did not play in this game,
No, he
so
was out.
that was kind of a big loss for Cleveland. So getting him back on the court is going to mean a big, I think make a pay some dividends for them going forward in the series. But I still pick Cleveland to win that series in
I'm
6 games.
I'm picking Indiana. And I'm not saying that because they won the first game,
Yeah,
but that team is so underrated as a 4 seed. They're a really good team, anchored by Tyrese Halliburton. All right, you got Miles Turner in the
Miles
lane,
Turner. Yeah,
clogging it up. Pascal Siakam, they're very large underneath the paint there, and they stretch it out, and they can make the perimeter a very tough place to play here. I wouldn't be shocked if Indiana ends up taking this series here
yeah,
and knocking out Cleveland. And for the fact that we talked about it a little earlier, this Indiana Pacers team really didn't change from last year, and they were in the semifinals last year that lost to Boston. So, there's a little bit of that there.
yeah.
Cleveland is still trying to figure this out. And without Darius Garland, that's going to be tough sledding.
Yeah,
Darius
they got to
Garland
get him
helps
out there.
helps
Yeah,
anchor
he's
that
a big
second
time player,
unit.
man. He's a
He
big time
is.
player. He's a starter. So it's like,
Untamed says Cavs in 7.
all right, well, yep. I still think the Cavs get through.
Hey, as Tyrese Halliburton's dad stays out of the limelight, they win the
Yeah, he
series.
can't go to the games anymore. They kicked him out.
Nah, yeah.
Tell him he's
And rightfully
done.
so, man. You can't
What the
be
hell are you
walking
doing,
on the
buddy?
court like that. Are you
Calm
kidding
down.
me?
Trying to be like John Morant, daddy.
Bro, man, Giannis just like his shadow swallowed up Tyrese Halliburton's dad,
I
man. And
feel
it's like,
like Giannis wants to choke everyone,
but just won't do it.
but just won't do it. Like I could just see one of his large 1 foot hands just going around someone's throat and just picking them up like Thanos
Oh
or
man,
something.
what is he thinking, man? Like that was that short man mentality here, man. It's like, what are
I
you
don't know,
doing?
man.
Why are you picking on Giannis for? Giannis is like one of the nicest guys in the league. Like he's got a mean face, but he ain't gonna fight nobody. And then you want to get in
I
this man's
don't
face
know.
and
I
cuss him
don't
out?
know.
Like, come on,
I
man.
don't know. And then let's look at these other series. Man, so these are some exciting matchups. We'll talk about the Knicks and Boston going at it. I'm gonna be honest about you with this one. Knicks had a hard time beating Boston during the regular season.
They had a hard time with Detroit.
Yeah,
It took
they
a bad
did.
foul call to beat Detroit.
Boston sometimes could get a little complacent in games where they kind of play down to the team's level and let them get into the game. Same thing they did against Orlando, honestly, because that should have been a sweep. But if Boston locks in, this series is over. In my opinion, the series is over in 5.
Boston takes care of this real quickly here.
I just want to see them lock in though, because against Orlando, they really left the door. They left the door open a few times, and I think
they almost messed around and found out with the Magic, because
right.
the Magic really
they balled out.
really put it to them.
And so the Celtics just need to really get back on their championship mentality and put the Knicks away. Get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And really just be done with this in 5 games. They're more than capable. They are probably, and I hate to say this, but one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Wow, we've been clamoring that for a while.
They're the only team in the league that doesn't have to play a zone and just can switch everybody and still guard you. If Porzingis is even 75% of himself, he makes that team even harder to play against. And so, yeah, I don't see a situation. The Knicks have to scratch and claw for every single point that they get. Okay, they're nothing easy comes for the Knicks.
Yeah, it's all Jalen Brunson, or it's none of that after that.
Yeah.
Although Big Cat had a pretty good series against the Detroit Pistons, he had some pretty big shots here. But let's dude, you know how much I love defense here. The C's have the best backcourt defense with Drew Holiday and Derek White.
Yeah,
and they did most of that against the Magic without Drew Holiday. If they get Drew Holiday back for this series, it's over. Like, it's not even 5 games, it's 4.
Yeah,
because I see Jalen Brunson getting locked up by Drew Holiday. All right, that leaves Derek White to guard your second best guy. Who's what? Hart?
Yeah, probably Josh Hart.
I mean, and he's not really that much of an offensive threat.
Maybe you throw what's his name? Gosh, why can't I think of these guys' names right now? But yeah, I don't see it being close. Like I said, during the regular season, the Knicks they could not beat the Celtics. They didn't have a very good time playing against them. So I anticipate this will be over in five. Yeah,
Four,
they'll move on.
four with Drew Holiday.
Four with
Like
Drew.
it's
Five,
gonna be a clean.
five with. Oh man, so we got Tame obviously chiming in on his team. Says season five because Boston gets careless in game one. That's
They
probably
do.
right.
They did that against the Pacers. They
Yeah.
did it against every team last year in one series.
And then Derek White is the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, guy cut his hair off and got better. I don't know how that's
I
possible.
know. Can you imagine? All because Charles Barkley and Shaq made fun of his
I
hairline
mean,
in the
his forehead,
playoffs.
yeah, his forehead
And then
was
the next year, he is completely bald. That's
completely.
best.
So this next series, though, I'm not completely certain of. We got the Denver Nuggets taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Dude, this ain't close.
OKC is more than capable. They've been the best team all season. The only thing is OKC is still trying to prove themselves. They do have the home field advantage. And Denver's been kind of sometimey. Denver's been kind of good and not that good some games and not other games. Everything they do relies on Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray doesn't show up or play as well as he can, then Denver's toast. I mean, as great as Jokic is, he can't do it all on his own. I think we saw that down the stretch of the season where they were just ducking off games one after the other. And if Jamal Murray is going to have to be the best player on that team, or I guess we'll say second best, in order for them to have a chance to beat OKC. OKC just has so many guys they could throw at you at so many different positions, from Chet Holmgren to Lou Dort to you got SGA, you got Jalen Williams. I mean,
It's
they
the
got a lot
pace of the
guys.
game. It's the pace of the game that OKC is gonna play. It's gonna eliminate Jokic out of it there. OKC or Denver's gonna really have to. They're gonna have to put. Denver's gonna have to put OKC in a half court defense, and that's not really gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as even if with a made basket, OKC is gonna run the ball. They're gonna completely eliminate Jokic out of the system there. So I expect it to be a very fast paced game. I'm just wondering how many blown layups or missed dunks Russell Westbrook is gonna have.
Actually, Russell's been playing pretty good, man.
You hate to say it too.
The past few games, he's been playing pretty darn good. Okay, and you either get good Russell or you get bad Russell. That's how it's gonna be, right? You're gonna get a guy who is always 100%, but he might be 100% brick or he might be 100% shot. We don't know. It's game to game with that guy. But
Untamed OKC is garbage. I don't feel like watching Shea shoot 100 free throws claiming he has aura. I hope Westbrook punches him in the face. I mean, I don't the Westbrook look, and this is Westbrook going back to OKC as well, and you know how much that means to him. So I mean, does he take it personal and say, "I'm gonna knock you guys out of the playoffs now"?
Well, I think like you said, the only thing is you're playing again. You're gonna have Chet Holmgren out there. You're gonna have Harrenstein. It's really
Frankenstein.
It's really gonna force. They're really gonna try to get Jokic in pick and roll and force him defensively, man.
Yeah, Russ gave himself a tech yesterday.
Sure
that was great to watch, man.
I mean, remember he used to play for the Clippers.
Yep.
I mean, Russ is basically on a revenge tour.
Yeah,
because he's played for every single team in the West almost.
It's pretty much, man. Rockets, OKC, the Lakers, the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's almost got like a quarter of the Western Conference in his pocket here.
Pretty much, man. So he's on a revenge tour.
Who you got?
I'm gonna take OKC. I just think Denver has too many liabilities defensively. They played pretty well defensively they played pretty well defensively the past two games, or the last game against the Clippers. But what we have to remember is the Clippers are the Clippers. Okay, they're the Clippers. They're a cursed franchise that is in the same city as the Los Angeles Lakers. They are literally the small stepbrother, the turd of Los Angeles. They'll never win anything, ever, never. It doesn't matter who's on the Clippers team. They're garbage.
Untamed. How confident you in that Nuggies in 6? I want to hear how confident he is with this Nuggies in 6. He's
Yeah, I
picking the
know.
Nuggets to go in 6.
They
I got OKC in
he's
5.
right. They might get punked by Jokic until it's time to run. And then my man is gonna be 2 puffs of a cigarette away from sitting his ass down.
He's gonna wish he was back there
Yo,
playing around with
you say what you want
divorces.
about Jokic, but when it gets to the fourth quarter, Jokic is trying the best he can, okay? But he's tired. All right,
He's
fourth
sucking
quarters.
all the air out the building,
Yeah,
man.
that's why Jamal Murray is so important because they rely on Jamal in the late game situations to get those big shots. That's not Jokic's deal, okay? Now he can
Yeah.
make some big shots. I'm not saying he can't, but Jamal Murray, when he gets it going, they're a completely different team. But the only issue is Jamal Murray is constantly injured and sometimes is just a little unreliable. You don't know if you're going to get the very best out of him. He usually plays good in playoffs, but OKC, I know people don't watch them play a lot because they're in Oklahoma, but if you watch them play, they kind of like run your ass out of the gym. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of what they do. Like they defend you and they run like their ass is on fire. And so if you're just gonna ask Jokic to do that, I mean,
Hey, here's going to be the matchup to watch for is Alex Caruso versus Jamal Murray. And
oh yeah, it'd be fun.
I expect Caruso to lock his ass up.
Well,
Like
they could
no
throw
joke.
they could throw Caruso at him. They could throw Williams at him. They could throw Lou Dort at him. They have lots of players.
They do.
They could run
It's
out
crazy.
there. They don't have to guard him with just one guy. They could throw whoever they want out there and
He said,
at least give him a chance.
Bruce, Clippers need to move back to San Diego. There's definitely some Hollywood witchcraft on that franchise, and he just wants Golden State and Denver in the Western Conference Finals. Well, I mean, it's going to be a tall task.
I see OKC.
Bruce says OKC, UFC, KFC, Lakers in 5.
Okay. It's like my man just falls out of the sky. At like we had the hater ball. Remember that? Remember the hater ball?
Hate. And you know what, Bruce? Every time you gonna say something, I'm just gonna leave with that hate. Warriors are not
even talking about the Lakers, man. We were talking about Denver and OKC.
Of course, the Warriors aren't scared of nobody because of who they have. But yes, you also have to respect who you're playing. Houston, I don't respect. The Wolves, you respect.
You just got out of a 7-game series, okay? Let's not make it seem like they swept Houston or something.
They're getting on the flight right now to get to Minnesota.
Games. It took them 7 games to beat Houston. Okay, they didn't sweep them. Y'all, I mean, they're talking like they just ran through them real quick and now they just on to the next round. No.
I mean, we could have, but no, we decided to play with our food.
It didn't happen, and so it's like you come out of a 7-game series. You're gonna take on the Wolves, okay? The Wolves been sitting for a bit. They waiting on you. So now, there you go. You play the next team. But like I said, just don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate them. They're a better team than you think. They're a better team than you think.
Yep. Thanks, Rudy Gobert, for making everybody feel like that. You jerk, 27-25. What a jerk, man.
It ain't just him, man. It's McDaniels.
I know. Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about him.
He's a great defender. He's a guy that can defend all over the place. Naz Reid comes off the bench, can knock down open shots, can get to the rim. They have some athleticism on their team. So just,
Look, and you, Untamed, I don't know how Houston was the second seed because that team does not have any offense unless it's in transition. It's hard to believe how they fell into that second seed.
Well, if you remember, the Grizzlies were the third seed until the last 2 weeks of the season. Okay,
they plummeted like the stock market. J Mac is Himothy, and I guarantee you they're gonna put McDaniels on Curry like they put Amen Thompson on Curry, and I don't think Daniels will be winning, but I don't think he's gonna have that tough of a time. I honestly think it's good. That's who they're gonna throw on Curry in this matchup. You're not going to put old ass Mike Conley on Curry because he's going to run circles around him. You can't have Ant Edwards guarding him as well. So who do you go? McDaniels, go face guard Curry. That's the remedy now.
Yeah, man. I think that's it.
That's why regular season coach. Hey, remember he was your coach too when you guys lost to the Warriors in the finals.
Yeah. I mean, they did make it to the finals.
They did, but they also lost to us as well.
Yeah. Well, hey, somebody got to lose, I guess.
All right. Warriors and Wolves.
Warriors and Wolves. We're already talking about it. I think this game goes 7, man.
6.
I think it goes 7. I think I'm gonna pick the Warriors in 7. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Don't under please. I'm trying to warn you. You gonna sit up and make fun of the Lakers and hate on the Lakers for losing to this team,
Hate, 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 hate,
and
hate,
then you're
hate.
gonna turn around and say how easy they're gonna be for the Warriors to beat. And I'm telling you, that's a mistake. Okay, this team is better than you think. They can defend at all levels, and not only that, they can score the ball. Okay, Houston could not score the ball. Who's the guy on Houston who's taking the shot in the last 5 minutes of the game? I have no idea. Who's the guy taking the shot in the last few minutes of a game against Minnesota? Everybody knows who it is. Everybody in the gym knows who's shooting the ball. It's Ant Edwards. So you gotta fight. The Warriors need to be concerned with defending Ant Edwards, keeping him under wraps, and making sure that they don't get killed with size on the boards with Rudy Gobert. Now, Rudy Gobert doesn't have to play a lot, and and like you said, Rudy Gobert might not play a lot of minutes, but guess who replaces him? Nas Reed.
Nas Reed can shoot too.
Nas Reed they can play small ball, but they play it bigger. That's all. He can shoot. He can shoot the mid range. He can get to the basket. These guys aren't just some floundering crap team that just happened to make it there. Like my team got their ass kicked in 5 games. It didn't go to 7.
Yeah.
So you don't. All I'm saying is don't underestimate them. Don't think the Warriors are gonna run through them. Because if you start thinking like that, if Kerr ducks off a game like he did against Houston, you saw what happened. You saw what happened to the Nuggets last time, right? The Nuggets got their ass kicked in 7 games, right? Remember that? So don't do that. Don't do that.
We won't, but I'm still taking the Warriors in 6. I think it does go 6. Warriors find a way to get 1 of 2 in Minnesota, because that's the thing that the Warriors do, and that's the mark of a great playoff team, right? You win a game on the road, you find a way to get 1 of those. Minnesota did it. All right, the Warriors did it against Houston. Mm-hmm. The underdogs fight. You have to find a way to steal 1 on the road, especially when you know you have a good home court advantage, like both these teams do. All right, they took care of home court and allows you to take a series lead after that. So yes, the Warriors are going to have to find a way to get 1 of the 2 here. Game 1 is going to be a far stretch because of what kind of the series that you just went through in Houston. Luckily, the flight from Houston to Minnesota is not all that long, but you're exhausted.
It's a quick turnaround.
It's a very quick turnaround. Tuesday night. All right. So you really don't have a lot of time to rest. You got to get ready. Hopefully between games 1 and 2, there's a nice little break so you get your batteries recharged. But don't be surprised if the Warriors come out a little slow out the gates in game 1. Just don't be shocked by it.
Yeah, man. But I think it's going to be a good series. And ultimately, I think it'll be, the Warriors and OKC battling down the Western Conference Finals.
I'm excited, man. Thank God, because I'm telling you, if the Warriors would have lost yesterday, I probably would have just said my piece and gotten off the show. I would have been pissed. Bros, you know why I admit it? Like when the Lakers went down, I mean, I didn't give you no slack because you my boy and everything, but the rest of my Laker fans, I was kind of driving a knife right into their side a little bit. I was messing with them, and then the Warriors proceed to blow the next 2 games to blow this team out. I'm like, God damn it, man, this is not happening right now.
You gotta stay humble, man.
Like, Jesus Christ, let me go eat some humble pie real quick.
Stay humble, man. Stay
humble.
So,
I locked myself in the room today. I was like, I ain't watching the game nowhere else. When I'm in my room, the Warriors play well. They did a damn good job. I had my Steph Curry graded cards in front of my TV for all this, positive juju and stuff. And
my man is trying to summon.
I was summoning it, right? And I don't do that normally because I'm like, this doesn't really determine my day. But I was like, God, if this team really loses today, I got to talk about it. And 2, then I'm not going to live it down after giving all my Laker fans all this crap. So thank God. Thank you, Buddy Hield. Thank you,
Buddy Hield, the unsung hero who hopefully they give him a really small statue. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, man.
They give him an Allen Iverson statue next to Jimmy Butler because those 2 are the best of friends.
That's stupid, man. Oh man. Well, I think that's about all we got. I'm trying to think of any other interesting things that came about in the world of sports, but it's mainly been the NBA The
I mean,
NBA
look,
playoffs,
my,
man.
my Giants are doing well.
Yeah, I
Baseball,
saw that.
but again, dude, it's just May right now. I got until September,
Yeah.
October to worry about this. So I think we're a little heavy on the playoffs here. I mean, we could talk about the NFL draft saga because Shador
Nah.
Sanders is still making headlines,
Well,
but
we
I'm kind of
talked
over
about
it at
that.
this
I
point.
mean, I'm not. I mean, until we see him play a preseason game, who knows? You know,
Oh, speaking of preseason, the WNBA was on today.
I didn't
I
watch
got
it.
to
It's
watch the
preseason.
Indiana, dude, the Indiana Fever. Are you kidding me? Caitlin Clark was
She
back
didn't
in
play,
Iowa.
did
Yeah,
she?
she did.
Oh,
Oh, dude, she
I
was in
didn't watch
Iowa.
it.
She pulled up from the logo a few times. It was just number the bottom of the net. I
Well,
was like, oh, she's doing great.
well, I
Hey,
mean,
man, top Dolph, what are you doing? Use my government name on the show, man. You know you can't be doing that. And no, I didn't get a new computer. I took like 4 naps today.
dang man, you gotta tell him. Should we block him? No, I'm not.
Nah,
I'm
that's
just
my
kidding. I'm just joking.
gotta use my government name out there. Yo,
Out there dropping people's there, trying to get me
name
caught
dropped
up,
it, man.
man.
Otherwise, we'd be putting our full names on this show. But there's a
Right.
reason why we don't.
Dang.
No, I did not
No.
get a new computer today.
Don't commit y'all. Whatever y'all do, don't commit no crimes with Top Dolph because your ass going to jail.
Yeah, he gonna put your name out. Yeah, man, can't use you as a culprit no more, man. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, it was Brian. What? He'd be like in the what is that?
when they rob the bank and everybody has a ski mask on and dudes, hey Brian, what the hell are you doing? What's your name for?
Look, man, I'll shoot you right on the spot. You call my name out in the middle of a bank robbery. I'm sorry, man. I sent your family some money for doing some stupid shit like that.
Oh man. All right, folks. Well, I think that's all we got. If y'all got something you want to talk about, let us know quickly.
Yeah, Untamed, thanks for joining the chat too.
Thanks,
Let
man.
us know if you got something you want to talk about. Top Dolph as well. Our boy Bruce. Always good to have you in here as well, man. We were actually kind of preparing for you today. We really were.
Yeah, but it's all right. It wasn't that bad. So
Nah,
you know,
we'll let you slide.
Keep it tame. Keep it tame.
No pun, Untamed.
Oh man! All right, y'all. On that note, we're going to get into the remainder of our Sunday evening. Hopefully, y'all do the same.
Yeah, man.
Out for some of our highlight videos. We'll be getting those out as quickly as we possibly can. And yeah, man, we really appreciate y'all joining. If y'all haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next Sunday.
Help us get there, folks. We're almost at 1,000 followers.
Well,
help us get to that road there.
Next Sunday is Mother's Day. So
oh yeah, we ain't doing a show next Sunday. You kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
Die. Man, gotta celebrate Mother's Day, man.
Everybody celebrate Mother's Day with your mothers, your wives, sisters,
grandmothers,
aunties, whoever else. Grandma, there you go. Everybody, make sure you spend some time with them if you can. And we out. Until next time.
Peace.